Today we have more than 15 Nintendo Switch pickups for the month of October, mostly new releases, although a couple other things sprinkled in, as well as some thrifted Wii games, as you can see here, some PlayStation stuff, some DS stuff, a retro original Game Boy game, complete in box. Let's get into it. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the channel. It's-A-Mii here. Today we are doing another pickups video. I said in the last one, towards the end of October, I would do one a little bit sooner than I normally would, just to show all of the new releases in October. I'm not sure if anybody else is feeling this right now, but as someone with a full-time job, as someone who does YouTube on the side, as someone who is generally pretty busy, I have never felt more overwhelmed by how many games are releasing. There are so many great things coming out, and that's really the issue, right? You grow up, you know, you're always wanting more games. You don't have the money to buy them. As soon as you have the money to buy games, you don't have time to play them, which is where I'm really at right now, because there were so many great releases in October that I'm trying to catch up on. I talked about Metaphor in the last pickups video, and I showed off the special edition for that bad boy, and trying to get through that. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero came out, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which I know is very different from the other games, but I love Call of Duty. Mario & Luigi Brothership, obviously, I did a review of, and you guys seem to love that, so I appreciate the support there. I'll talk about that more in just a second. On top of all the other stuff that I haven't really played too much of yet, Ys-10 I played the demo of. We'll be talking about that more here. Romancing Saga 2, I really want to get to, and then there's some other things that came out in October that I am really itching to play, so I feel very swamped right now. You know, I feel like 2024 for me, for the first half of the year, was pretty light, especially on the Switch side of things. There were some PS5 games that I want to play that I missed, like Infinite Wealth and 7 Rebirth, but in terms of Switch games and also PS5 for October, it feels like it just all happened at once, right? Like I was playing nothing in like June, for example, but here we are now, and I cannot keep up with everything releasing. So as always, we'll start off with the recent Switch releases. Like I said, mostly games that came out in October. However, there are a couple other odds and ends that thrown in here, as well as Mario & Luigi Brothership. I figured I might as well just talk about it in today's video. But starting off, we have Ys-10 Nordics here. This is the deluxe edition that NIS America always does for basically all of their games. I'm not sure. I think it includes like a little digital art book, maybe something along those lines. I talked about it in the video where I went over the games I played in October, because I played the demo for this game, and that was like, I want to say like 6 to 8 hours, somewhere in that range. I finished the demo. People were telling me that's like 1/4 of the game, so I'm definitely going to finish this. However, we have two issues. First of all, busy playing Metaphor, want to play Romancing Saga, want to play Dragon Quest 3 comes out in a couple of days as of when I'm recording this, so, you know, there's a lot of other RPGs I want to play, and I think I'll play those first probably, so hopefully Ys-10 I get to before the end of the year. But there's another issue, and that is the fact that I have the Switch version here. I bought this in the buy two get one sale at Best Buy back in August. I played the demo on PS5. I think I made a mistake there. So I decided, like, okay, I'm just going to play the demo on PS5 when that came out, and then I wasn't really thinking, like, oh, well, this is a really long demo. I'm going to want to transfer my progress to the full game. So what I'm really holding out hope for here, despite buying the Switch version, despite owning all of the Ys games on Switch, so I'm really hoping that on Black Friday this year, there is at least a maybe $10, maybe hopefully $20 off sale for Ys-10 Nordics at Best Buy or Amazon or wherever, so I can get that game for a little bit cheaper, because I do want to play it before the end of the year. But also Falcom games on PS5, you know, on every platform, they seem to get expensive pretty quickly. Especially on PS5, you look at like Ys-8 and Ys-9, I mean, those games are so expensive on PS5, even versus the Switch version, so I want to get Ys-10 on PS5, I think, because I don't want to have to replay the opening 7 hours of that game again on Switch. So fingers definitely crossed that there will be a nice sale there, and I guess I'll keep this copy sealed here for the collection. I don't have these in order of release date or anything, by the way, so some of these are just kind of just stacked up here a little bit randomly. Next up, this was at the end of October, though, World of Goo 2 from 2D Boy and Tomorrow Corporation. I love 2D Boy, I love Tomorrow Corporation. Interestingly, World of Goo, I would say, is my least favorites of their three major things. So they have World of Goo, they have Little Inferno, and they have Human Resource Machine / 7 Billion Humans. I love Human Resource Machine, and I love Little Inferno, even though Little Inferno is like, it's kind of like an idle game almost, where you just burn objects, but it's really satisfying. I love the art style and like all the little quirks that go on there. World of Goo is definitely their most like critically acclaimed game, I would say. Like, it's very much just a traditional, like, this is a puzzle game, you know. Little Inferno is like a weird app, and Human Resource Machine is like a weird coding thing. I love both those things, though, and World of Goo never stood out to me as much as those. However, World of Goo 2, I've heard nothing but good things. I hear it's a great sequel, and it has co-op. I don't know if the first one had co-op. I don't believe it did, but this is one that I think I'll play through with Olivia, and I'm sure she'll enjoy the art style here. So picked up this, once again, through the Best Buy 2 get one sale. Actually, I need to stop saying that. It goes without saying, if there is a new Switch game in this pile, like a new release, I bought it through the Best Buy 2 get one sale, because that was a crazy deal, and I recommend that whenever it comes back again, you take advantage of it, because, oh my goodness, it's a lot of games. Next up, we have Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream. It's still sealed. I played it on PS5. I paid for like the 3-day early access on that game. That was probably a mistake. I enjoyed it, though. I actually talk about this more in depth in my October Games I Played video, but for what it is, as someone who is not an SAO fan, I liked Fractured Daydream. It has that very kind of addictive one more match, one more round thing going on that Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 has for me, where I think I've come to accept, as much as I love Sparking Zero, I think I've come to accept that I really like PvE or like co-op anime games. There's nothing more fun than that to me. So while I do enjoy PvP in like a Dragon Ball fighting game or like the Naruto, Storm games or Shinobi Striker or something, I really like co-op anime stuff. And Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream, I did enjoy quite a bit. It's nothing like special or anything. It's nothing like crazy good, but I did enjoy it for what it was. And if you're a Sword Art Online fan, I imagine you'll enjoy it even more than I did. So that one's a like half recommendation for me. It depends on if you are okay with some anime jank, but for what it is, as someone who enjoys that co-op, grind loop of just doing the same missions over and over, I did enjoy that one. But I also picked up here Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris, I believe is how you say that. This is the one that came out, I want to say 2 years ago. SAO on Switch is weird because last year they released Last Recollection on PS5, PS4, and PC, maybe even Xbox, I'm not sure. That one did not come out on Switch for some reason. However, Fatal Bullet did, and Hollow Realization did, and this Alicization Lycoris game did, and now we have Fractured Daydream. So it's weird that we didn't get Last Recollection, but this is a one of those like Asian English releases. As you can see, there's no ESRB here. So there's one more I still need, and that is Hollow Realization. You can find like the European copy on eBay, not too bad, but I want to get the there's a copy that has this exact same like advanced 16 or suitable for 16 and above kind of logo there. So that's what I'm going to be going for. So that's the last SAO game I'll need. This one is single player, though, so I'm not sure if this one would appeal to me as much. Like I said, I like the co-op aspects of Fractured Daydream. I assume I would like Fatal Bullet if I played it. This one is single player, though, so I wanted to pick up that, though, and slowly inch towards completing my anime games collection on the Switch, as we have another anime game in here we'll talk about in just a second. Next up, I just started this one late last night, and that is Sonic Shadow Generations. All right, now I'm going to try to be nice here. I'm going to try to be nice to all the Sonic fans. I remember playing Sonic Generations growing up. I think I played the 3DS version, though, so, like, very different game. But I enjoyed it for what it was as a kid. I think this is where I finally accept that, like, Sonic is not for me. I can appreciate what is here. So I haven't really touched Sonic Generations itself, but I've been playing the Shadow Generations part of it. I think I'm already, like, halfway through it. It's not long, apparently, like 3 hours. So I'll see it through, but I think this is the game where I finally accept that Sonic is not a franchise I need to even touch. I appreciate it for what it is. I'm glad that people seem to really be loving this renaissance that we're in here with Sonic. I enjoy the movies for what they are, but the games are almost always a miss for me, and that is, it always sucks, right? Like, people love Sonic, even though I know Sonic has its issues, but like overall, I think people enjoy Sonic. I just think Sonic's not for me, but this is a pretty cool physical copy. The Day 1 edition here includes download code as well as a little Eggman Empire book, which is fun. I don't know what's in here. I haven't looked at this yet. Just so much. It's his journal. That's kind of cool. The Shadow stuff is nice, right? Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's not, like, bad. I'm not trying to say Sonic Shadow Generations is bad or anything. I think it's just not for me. From what I've played, it definitely feels like it's on the higher end of Sonic games, like higher quality end. I enjoy the little hub world you have going around and all that. The different moves that Shadow has are fun to use, but I don't know. I think Sonic just isn't for me. But I'll have more thoughts on that towards the end of the month when I do my November games I played, I think. Because I would also like to go back and fully finish Generations, because I don't think I ever beat it even on 3DS. So that'll probably take a little bit longer. But I did Shadow Generations first just because I heard everybody raving about it. And alas, I still think it's just kind of like, not for me. Next up, we have Romancing Saga Revenge of the Seven. So this is a remake of Romancing Saga 2, which is funny because Romancing Saga 2, the original version, or like the mobile port version that came to Switch, that already has a physical release. But this is a full remake of Romancing Saga 2, and I've heard nothing but good things about this. From everything I've seen, it looks really great. It just came out at a awful time. Like I was saying at the top, like, listen, I get it. It's tough to figure out when to release games. However, Square Enix, what are you doing? You're talking about scaling back. You're talking about doing less of these smaller releases. If you're still going to do them, spread them out more. You cannot be releasing this a day before East 10. You cannot be releasing it the same month as Metaphor. You can't even be releasing it 3 weeks before Dragon Quest III HD 2D, your own game. You can't do it. You need to put this game in its own slot. And then we have Fantasian at the beginning of December. I don't understand why they think releasing these, like very hardcore JRPGs all at the same time in the holiday period when every other game releases is a good idea. That's my little Square Enix rant there. But yeah, Romancing Saga 2 looks absolutely fantastic from what I've seen. I'm hoping that I finish Metaphor, I finish Dragon Quest 3, I get to East 10, probably Fantasian would happen before this, and then maybe before the end of 2024, I can squeeze in Romancing Saga, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I know there's a demo out right now. Even that came out at a bad time. I think it came out like the same day as the Metaphor demo or something. Like, it was just, it's all these RPGs, all these JRPGs coming out at the same time. Just rough, man. I wish Romancing Saga 2 would come out in like August or something. But then again, I guess Visions of Mana came out then, so maybe that would have been a bad time too. But yeah, heard great things about that. Want to check out that. This is a September release. I'm pretty sure I forgot to mention it, but it is Cocoon. So this is an Annapurna published game. Also, I Am 8-Bit was involved there. So this is a game from one of the lead gameplay designers of Limbo and Inside from Playdead. And I love Inside. Limbo is also very good, but Inside is like, I think that was maybe my game of the year, 2016. I really, really like Inside, and I've heard great things about Cocoon. Not that great compared to Inside, right? It's not on that level, but I wanted to pick up that. That was a September release. I don't think I mentioned it, but cool that it got a physical there. Another indie game here, we have Pepper Grinder from Devolver Digital, and I'm not sure who actually developed this one. REC Games, I believe, maybe. I'm probably saying that wrong. This game was in, I want to say, either the Partner Showcase or an Indie World earlier this year, and I thought it looked really cool. Apparently, it was in development for like a really long time. But basically, you have this drill, and you kind of burrow and dig through the ground, and it like has this really like nice momentum-based physics or something, like where it just looks very satisfying to like dig in and like launch up and then go into the next thing, attack enemies, that kind of thing. I'm not sure if this is more like Metroidvania-esque. It says on the back here, yeah, pick up jewels, open up new paths on the world map, and snag a collectible sticker. So maybe some light Metroidvania elements, but I thought this one looked cool, nice pixel art, and once again, cool to see more indie games getting physical releases, not through limited run. And speaking of indie games, we have the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, the physical version, once again through I Am 8-Bit. I played Stanley Parable back, I want to say in like 2014 or whenever it released. It's an older game. I've not played Ultra Deluxe, and I definitely didn't do like all the different endings for Stanley Parable, but it's this very kind of trippy narrative adventure, very nice narration, over this game, and it's something I would like to go back to, maybe play through with Olivia, and I think she probably watched like Let's Plays of it back in the day or something, but that'd be something where like I haven't played it or seen it in so long that I'm sure I've forgotten most things about it, so wanted to pick up that. And then also another game that Olivia has been absolutely grinding, Balatro here. I have not gotten too much time into this myself. I do love what I've played so far. I played it with some friends over PAX West weekend, but Balatro is it's this roguelike deck building game, but it's not like, when you think of like a deck building game, you're thinking of like, okay, like a game with like cards that have like actual, moves and stuff. This is literally poker. You're playing poker. You're gambling in this game, but it has this very nice flow, this very nice gameplay loop, and the physical version here, haven't opened these up. I don't know if I will, but it actually comes with some physical Balatro cards, which is really cool. So if you're a fan of Balatro, cool to have these. You got some jokers here, as well as some aces, and probably some other cards in there. Or no, it just says Balatro aces on the packaging. But yeah, that's a cool little physical bonus for this. And once again, just always cool to see indie games getting physical releases on Switch, but also especially when they have cool goodies like that. It has inside art, very nice. Happy to have this and add it to the collection. Balatro really came out of nowhere, man. I feel like no one had ever heard of this game until like February or March, and then it just blew up and took over the world. So I would not be surprised to see Balatro nominated for Best Indie Game and probably win it at the Game Awards next month. Here's a random one, not a new release, but I wanted to pick this up before the sequel comes out, and I don't know when I would have time to play it, but I picked up Fairy Tail here, like I said, going for all those anime games. This one was developed by Gust, the Atelier devs. I'm not sure what the consensus is of Fairy Tail, the game specifically. I know the anime is a little bit more hit or miss. I know either you like hate it and you think it's cringe and weeby or whatever, or you enjoy it. I'm not sure where I would fall on that because I've never watched Fairy Tail. I've read a little bit of the manga, and from the probably 20 chapters I read, I thought it was fine. But I picked up this game. At one point, this was actually pretty expensive. I'm not sure if it got reprinted at some point. I think I maybe paid $40. But there's a sequel to this coming out. I'm not sure what this is. Like, I'm not sure. Does this cover the canon events of the series? Because I know when they announced Fairy Tail 2 in the Nintendo Direct, they were like, this contains the final arcs, I'm pretty sure. Like, one of the major final arcs of the series. So I wouldn't do this, but like, if anybody is a Fairy Tail fan in the comments and you've watched the anime, read the manga, and played the game, can you like experience the story of Fairy Tail through this game and then the second game? That feels like too much content to probably fit into 2 games, I imagine, because Fairy Tail is like, 70 volumes or whatever. Then you have 100 Years Quest and all that. So, but yeah, either way, I wanted to pick that up and add it to the collection. Eventually, I could see myself getting very into Fairy Tail and playing through this game and then the sequel. I also wanted to pick it up before Farmagia releases. Obviously, that's already out, so you'll see that in probably not the next pickups video, but the one after. We'll see. I'm going to be doing a lot of pickups over the next 2 months as we ramp up for Christmas. But yeah, I wanted to pick up that. Obviously, the reason I mentioned Farmagia, if you don't know, Hiro Mashima, the creator of Fairy Tail, did the art for Farmagia, so that's why I wanted to mention that. But yeah, added that to the collection, and then a couple more new releases here that I have not had time to get to, unfortunately. This one stings. I really want to play this, but I think it'll have to wait until, closer to the holidays, as we are, I mean, we're getting there very closely, but Super Mario Party Jamboree here. I have heard nothing but good things about this game. People are saying like it is just universally the best Mario Party on Switch. I think it's also the highest reviewed Mario Party of all time on Metacritic, so excited to get to this. It'll definitely happen eventually, but also, like, as excited as I was for Mario Party Jamboree, it's really not one of those games I need to play on day one, There's other things I'd rather play on day one. Mario Party will have its time whenever it needs to have its time, right? Like, when friends are over for the holidays with family, like, it's gonna happen. It's just, like, I don't need to be there day one for Mario Party, if that makes sense. I guess I'm a fake fan. So that I need to get to. But also, last 2 games here, or last 2 October releases, Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered. I've never played a Tomb Raider game. I've never played any of them. I haven't even played the Crystal Dynamics reboot games, which look really good. I'm sure those games are fantastic. But I picked up this. They just announced Tomb Raider 4 through 6 collection coming out in February, so similar time frame to when this released digitally. I'm not sure if these are good remasters by Aspire. They look decent to me, but I'm not sure what the consensus is. And I think it's cool that they're doing 4 through 6. It's funny though, because like 4 through 6, they're not called 4 through 6. Like it's not called Tomb Raider 5, right? Tomb Raider 1 through 3, I'm pretty sure actually was, like, they were numbered, but then 4 through 6 were not, and they're just adding the numbers retroactively, which is whatever. But cool that all these games are getting added to the Switch library. I wonder, after they do 4 through 6, will they do like the like Underworld and those games that were on PS2 and PS3? I wonder about that. And then eventually, probably would happen on Switch 2 at this point, but I would like to see the Crystal Dynamics reboot trilogy come over to the Switch, because I've heard Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider specifically are really good, and I love Uncharted, so like I know I'll like those games when I get to them eventually. It just has not happened yet, but wanted to add that to the collection. And then this one is annoying me. So if you watched my video like evaluating my total collection, I use an app called CLZ Games to kind of cover my game collection and see what it's worth and track everything. For some reason, despite this game being out for almost a full month now, this game is not in the app, and it's driving me crazy. And that is Eternights here from Maximum Games and Studio Psy. So this one was announced in I want to say State of Play a couple years ago. I think it came to PS5 maybe last November or somewhere around there, last year at some points. Basically, it's this anime action game, not based on any property, but it's this anime-styled action game that also has like heavy dating sim elements, and it looks pretty cool. I like the like all the neon like aesthetic of this game. The idea of having this like hardcore action game mixed in with a dating sim is kind of fun. And when it was announced for Switch, I was like, oh, cool, I'll finally check that out. So yeah, have not had time to check out this yet, but I am excited to. I think it got decent reviews, and I think it's something I'll enjoy. But yeah, no, it's really annoying that it will not pop up in the app. There's a game that released in November also will not pop up in the app. World of Goo 2 actually took a while to add its information into the database. So I guess, I don't know if Price Sharding just has no data on Eternights on Switch yet or what, but it will not let me add it. And it's like a constant thing. I have to keep reminding myself, like, I need to remember to add Eternights and World of Goo 2 and this other thing before I forget. But then I try to add it and it's not in there. And it's first world problems, absolutely. But man, what an annoying little thing to have to keep track of. And then a final Switch game before this video. I'll save up all the other November game releases for the end of the month, or maybe even early December. But I figured I would go ahead and talk about this. I posted my review a couple days ago, one on Monday, and that is Mario and Luigi Brothership. I love this game. I think that this is probably the best Mario RPG on Switch. I need to, give it some time, probably years, maybe even. It's definitely up there with Super Mario RPG, though. For me, I love Brothership so much. I think the story is really great. The animations, the gameplay itself, the battle system in this game, I definitely think, at the very least, the battle system is the best of any Mario RPG across the board. I totally believe that. The story is really great. I would even say that's the best of any Mario RPG. The only thing that I would say maybe takes away from it is how long it is. It does feel a little too long at times, but I feel like that's more coming from the perspective of me as someone who wants to play Eternights. Like, I can't be playing 50-hour RPGs back to back, man. I need some shorter games. So I really appreciated last year the length of Super Mario RPG Remake, and Brothership is like a 40 to 50-hour game, which is really long. It's a really long game, but I think for most people that won't really be a concern. That's kind of a good thing, right? You get more bang for your buck. I know people like that, so it's hard to really view it as a negative. But for someone like me who I want to play so many games, it's like, man, this is such a long game. But the quality never really drops, in my opinion, except for maybe one section kind of in the middle. It's a little bit more dull compared to other parts of the game, but it's still really good. And the music's great. Basically, this game is great. I totally recommend it. It actually releases today, I think, when I'm posting this video. So if you have not decided whether or not you're picking up Mario & Luigi Brothership yet, I posted, I think, a 20-minute plus review on Monday. Definitely go check out that. You guys killed it on that video. I really appreciate the support. And yeah, that is it for Switch games this month, although we do have some DS stuff, a Game Boy game, as well as some PS5 and Wii stuff that I've thrifted over the past month. All right, so starting off with the PlayStation games, one PS4, one PS5. I decided to pick both of these up kind of on a whim. So the first one here is the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster reprint on PS4. I decided to pick this up because, while I have it on Switch, I want to own them on PlayStation for trophies. I like trophy hunting. And, Final Fantasy 1 through 6 are games I'm going to be playing over and over again throughout my life, especially, well, I've only played Final Fantasy 1 through 3 so far, but I actually really like Final Fantasy 2. I know I'm a weirdo in that thinking, and I still need to get to 4 through 6, but I wanted to own it on PS4. I'll probably just crack this open and play the rest of, 4 through 6 on PS4 instead of Switch. Even though I do have it on Switch, I bought the Play Asia release there. I wanted to own it on PlayStation to have trophies, and I think it'd be fun to go for all like the Final Fantasy Platinums or something over my lifetime. Try to get every Final Fantasy Platinum, I think, would be kind of fun. So I wanted to get that there. I'm glad they reprinted it, so it's a little bit more accessible for people. PS4 especially. Copies of this game on PS4 were like $1,000. Like it was completely absurd. Like, so I'm glad Square Enix at least reprinted it. And this is one that honestly might even go on sale around Black Friday. I've already seen it dropping a little bit below price, which is $75. So it is over MSRP for, or at least compared to most, retail games. So I wouldn't be surprised if this drops down to 60 or 50 even pretty quickly. And that's a great collection of great remasters or pixel remasters of the original 6 Final Fantasy games. And then the PS5 release I picked up this month is a game that I didn't even know existed until it was out. I love these movies, though. I don't really talk about it on this YouTube channel, but me and Olivia, we are complete movie heads. we weren't, like, for a long time. I would go to the theater maybe twice a year for whatever Marvel thing was coming out or whatever big movie was coming out. But recently, this past year, we're movie heads. I mean, that's what we do. We just go to the movies. That is our thing that we do together, and we will see like 3 movies a week. So we love movies, and I love this series in particular, even though they're not like the highest quality. They're pretty solid horror flicks. I enjoy them, and that is A Quiet Place, but they made a game here called A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead. I'm not sure if this is good. I don't want to know. I don't want to see reviews. Apparently, I did look up on how long to beat. It's like a 5-hour game, so I figured this would be a fun game for us to play through together. Kind of just a fun little spooky story game. The plan was to play it on Halloween, and just play it as like our spooky Halloween date night, I guess. But that did not happen. We ended up watching Scream and doing something else, I think, instead. So yeah, I do want to get to this probably before the end of the year, maybe even before the end of the month. But that is it for actual new releases for the month of October. But like I said, I do have some at DS and some thrifted things here. We'll start with the thrifted stuff. So we found a little stack of Wii games over the past month. Most of these were from the Goodwill bins, but there was one game here from Value Village. Or actually, I think all of these were from Value Village. I think I just made up the fact they were from Goodwill. I think actually all of these games were from Value Village. So anywhere from like $3 to $5 a piece, so they don't really go beyond that. But starting off here, some decent quality stuff, nothing expensive, but some games I wanted to add to the collection. We have Crash of the Titans here with the stickers still all over. I need to clean this up. It does have the manual though. Never played Crash of the Titans. Haven't played most of those like later Crash games like Twin Sanity. I haven't played really any of those, so I'm not sure if those games are well beloved or what. I'd imagine they're probably not, because that's around the time that Crash died. But yeah, I wanted to pick up that for cheap, obviously. Zack and Wiki for Wii, Quest for Barbarossa's Treasure from Capcom. This is one of those games I just always heard people talking about back in like the early 2010s. I remember people being like, "Oh, it's a cult classic," back when it was only a few years old. And to see it for $5, I was like, "Yeah, why not? I'll pick up Zack and Wiki. Why not?" We got a copy of Guitar Hero 3: Legends of Rock here. This one weirdly is like worth it. Like if you are a retailer or whatever and you see Guitar Hero 3 in the wild, like pick it up, I guess. It's like a $20 game. Most Guitar Hero stuff is like worthless, but for some reason Guitar Hero 3, I guess it's just because like this was like the Guitar Hero. Like if you grew up in that era, Guitar Hero 3 was like the pinnacle, I think, for a lot of people in terms of popularity. Obviously, then we got like Rock Band, and they started doing all these offshoots like Guitar Hero Metallica. I know is one that is actually pretty expensive to find on like PS3. But I saw this on Wii, and I was like, you know what? I would kind of like to own these on Wii, because I played Guitar Hero 3, I think on PS2 and maybe 360 growing up. But I never played any of the Guitar Hero stuff on Wii. I almost never find it while thrifting. So I was like, you know what? I have a Wii guitar because I found it at Goodwill maybe 2 years ago. Why not go ahead and try and find these on Wii? So whenever I see them for cheap, I think I'll be adding these. And I haven't actually played Guitar Hero in a very long time, but growing up, I mean, I love those games. That's how I feel like Guitar Hero kind of shaped a lot of my music interests actually back in the day. So yeah, Guitar Hero 3, cool to add that. This is a random one, but I was like, you know, I'm buying all these other Wii games. I might as well add this. Transformers Prime, the game. This is also on Wii U, so I know I own 2 copies of Transformers Prime, but you know, Transformers 1 just coming out. I was like, you know what, Transformers is in the brain. Let's check out Transformers Prime here. And then finally, we have 2 first-party Wii games I actually didn't have. My Wii collection's good, but like I'm missing a lot of random stuff. The Wii has a lot of random games, like just random stuff. So starting off here, we have Donkey Kong Barrel Blast here. This is well, I was gonna say this is a GameCube game. No, that's Jungle Beat. Donkey Kong in the 2000s is weird, man. A lot of those games were on GameCube, but they put like 5 of them on GameCube, and they started bringing them to Wii, so I got mixed up there for a second, but this is a racing game that was designed exclusively for Wii. It was not a GameCube game. I need to correct myself there. I don't know if this game is good. I've watched videos on it in the past, though, and it doesn't look very high quality. It looks like there's a lot of waggle with this game. You're really shaking your Wiimote and nunchuck, but to find this for like $4 or $5, I was like, yeah, I mean, of course. Obviously, it's a first-party Wii game I do not own, so that was cool to find. And then finally, for the Wii games, another game I did not have, or a game I had, but I had it in like a Hollywood video case, so happy to add it with the manual, with the proper box art, and that is Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I'm not sure if this is worth anything, really, but I know at one point it wasn't. I know Metroid stuff, though, kind of fluctuates up and down. And this one is also completes here past the little thing here. You can see. You can trust me. It's there. It's there. You can see the manual. Yeah. So this was complete. I do not have Prime 2. I also don't have Prime Trilogy. I need to get Prime Trilogy because I need to play Prime 2, and I refuse to play Prime 2 on GameCube. Although I also don't have Prime 2 on GameCube. It's probably not going to happen at this point, but I really hope that Prime 2 and 3 come to Switch before Prime 4. I've never played Prime 2 and 3, and I really want to do that before Prime 4 releases. It's probably not happening, and if it does happen, it's not going to be on the, you know, quality scale that Prime Remastered 1 was. But either way, happy to add Prime 3 to the collection. I'll probably be buying Prime Trilogy in the very near future, honestly, because I need to play those games to get ready for Prime 4. You know, I played Federation Force last year, played Prime 1 last year. I need to play through Prime 2 and 3, as well as Hunters and Other M. I do have Other M on Wii, so yeah, I'm really hoping. I think I'll give it like one more Direct, you know, like I'll give them one more Nintendo Direct to announce Prime 2 and 3, and if it doesn't happen there, I will immediately just rip the Band-Aid off and play Prime 2 and 3 on the Wii, which isn't a huge deal. It's not like I'm complaining. It's not a big deal to have to play them on Wii, but if there is a nicer remaster coming out in like less than a year, I'd rather wait. You know, that happened with Pikmin 1 and 2 for me, where I played those games on Wii, and then like 3 months later, they came to Switch. Although in that case, I think the Wii version is still actually superior based on the control method. But either way, Prime 3, happy to add that to the collection. Happy to add all these Wii games to the collection. And finally, we do have some DS stuff here that I added. I'm going to be honest, I keep saying this. I have like stuff I bought months ago, and I have not shown in pickups videos. I bought all of these games a long time ago. Like back in, honestly, probably April. And I just never showed them in a video because I was planning on doing a video on all of these games, and I thought it'd be a fun kind of retrospective thing, and I might still do that eventually, but I mentioned Black Ops 6 earlier. I'm a huge Call of Duty fan, and specifically, I've done videos on like Call of Duty Wii U in the past, Call of Duty Wii in the past. I've never really messed with Call of Duty on the Nintendo DS. So I already had Modern Warfare 3. I played a little bit of this one a couple years ago, but I added the rest of the DS Call of Duties to my collection. So Modern Warfare, this is the one I actually have played some of it very recently. I played through probably 2 hours of the campaign. I think it's actually like an 8-hour campaign on DS for some reason. These games are rough on DS. They're completely different games. But if you're a Call of Duty fan, it's kind of cool to see like where the franchise was at that time, because, you know, we're getting Modern Warfare and World at War and Black Ops on console, and those games are like pushing boundaries, but then they were also bringing them to DS, which is just really funny. So we had World at War here on the Nintendo DS. We have Modern Warfare 2 Mobilized, or actually it's just called Modern Warfare Mobilized. This one's weird because we did not get MW2, which is just so crazy because that is, I mean, that's like the one everybody knows, right? Like everybody loves Modern Warfare 2 from 2009. The DS got it, kind of, or at least they use the branding here anyway. I'm not sure if this game has Rust in it or if the campaign even really resembles the original console version, but I added that. And then finally Black Ops, which was the final handheld Call of Duty, or at least the final Nintendo handheld Call of Duty. Obviously, Vita did end up getting Black Ops Declassified, which is not a good game. I have played that game before. That one's rough. And I'm not saying these are good either. I doubt any of these Call of Duty games on DS are actually good, but it is fun to kind of look back and see what a handheld Call of Duty looks like, because we don't really have... I guess we have Call of Duty Mobile now, but that's like basically a full console game. So added these to the DS collection. None of these are very expensive. I think like maybe $10, $15 a piece. And I bought these a long time ago and just never talked about them. So I figured now with Black Ops 6 releasing, or having released very recently, it was time to finally show those. And then finally, final pickup, another thing that I picked up probably back in July or August. We talked about Romancing Saga 2 earlier. I added a very clean copy of an original Game Boy game that I did not have. I don't have very many original Game Boy games. I have a lot of GBA, but not much OG Game Boy, so I added a complete copy of Final Fantasy Legend 3. I saw this for like $80, which is a really good price, and I was like, you know what, I'll add that. The reason I say Romancing Saga 2, this is a Romancing Saga. In America, they called Romancing Saga Final Fantasy Legend to try and sell it, and I thought this was a really cool, clean copy of an OG Game Boy game. I just don't have too many of these. There are some, there's some creases there, but it's fine for how old this is and for the condition it is overall, for the price I paid. I was happy to add this to the collection, because my Game Boy collection, it's getting there, especially for GBA, but I want to add more OG Game Boy stuff. And yeah, I thought this was a really cool ad. I need to get, obviously, Final Fantasy Legend 1 and 2. I'm not sure what lines up there. I guess Legend 1 would be Romancing Saga 1, and then Legend 2 would be Romancing Saga 2, probably. Although, I don't know. I can't trust Final Fantasy. In the 80s and 90s, Final Fantasy in America cannot be trusted. Okay, looking at Wikipedia, it looks like they are lined up properly. So Legend is Romancing Saga 1, Legend 2 is Saga 2, and Legend 3 is Saga 3. So, yeah, I thought that was a cool game to add. Obviously, I think that was actually... When did they announce Romancing... Honestly, I might have bought that before they even announced Romancing Saga 2 Remake. So, kind of funny coincidence there. They're also bringing, they're doing like a Western version of Minstrel Song Remastered, even though the game already has one of those Asian releases. So, that's a little weird. That's coming out early next year. I'll probably buy it, because I want to get that different cover art. But that is going to do it for today's pickups video. That is going to do it for all of the pickups for basically all the new releases of October. There's a couple things I didn't buy. Silent Hill 2 I want to get. Obviously, I bought Sparking Zero and Black Ops 6 digitally. But yeah, October was an absolutely packed month for me in terms of new releases, and I will be forever catching up, I think. Silent Hill 2 is the one I hope to pick up over Black Friday and maybe play with Olivia, because it's cozy horror games is kind of just like a fun little thing to do. So I'll probably pick up that over Black Friday. But of course, as always, let me know what you guys have added to your collection. What have you been playing recently throughout the month of October and the early days of November? And as always, subscribe for more Nintendo collecting content, reviews, coverage, all that fun stuff. I think I might do an unboxing of something in the coming days. I'm not sure yet, honestly. It came out today. I'm really not sure yet if I'm gonna do it. If I do it, I'll probably do it in a stupid way, but stay tuned for that, I guess. And then honestly, I want to lean back on the games to buy before they get expensive a little bit. I'm kind of burned out on those. I think at least for a month or so. Maybe I'll do a Hidden Gems Switch games video or Hidden Gems 3DS game video. I want to focus on Switch because those videos do the best, and they're going to help grow the channel more. And I want to grow the channel as much as possible before Switch 2 comes out. But so I need to do some more Switch stuff, but also I want to balance that and try to do some more 3DS and DS and retro gaming content here as well. I should have a 3DS video coming in the very near future for something that I picked up. But yeah, until next time, folks, thank you so much for watching. Peace.